There is a weight to being watched that we rarely talk about. It's not the discomfort of a spotlight, but the subtle, constant pressure of simply being seen by others. We call it being perceived, and for many, it is the most exhausting tax we pay for existing in the world. Have you ever noticed how your posture shifts, your voice changes, or your thoughts filter themselves the moment you step out your front door? It's as if the world demands a performance you didn't audition for, and the only place the curtain finally falls is within your own four walls. Most people mistake this for shyness or a lack of social grace. They see someone who chooses the quiet of their living room over the noise of a gathering and assume they are hiding. But there is a deeper psychology at play here. It's not about avoiding people, it's about reclaiming the self. Because out there, in the gaze of the public, you are a version of yourself shaped by expectations. At home, you are finally the only audience that matters. Psychologists suggest that for those with high internal self-presence, the social mask isn't just a metaphor, it's a biological drain. When we are around others, our brains stay in a state of high alert surveillance, constantly scanning for social cues and regulating our reactions to fit the environment. But the moment you turn the key in the lock, something profound happens. Your nervous system exits its defensive posture. This is the low-threat environment where your identity finally stops fragmenting and begins to fuse back together. Let's look at why this happens through three distinct lenses. First, there are the emotional curators. For these individuals, the world is a flood of sensory data. They don't just hear noise, they feel it. They absorb the moods of others like a sponge, and by midday, their own inner voice is drowned out by the static of the crowd. Home isn't a retreat for them, it's a filtration system. It's where they go to separate their own feelings from the debris of everyone else's energy. Then we have the identity architects. These are the thinkers and creators who find that their best ideas require a specific kind of unobserved freedom. To them, being perceived is a limitation. When no one is watching, they are free to be messy, to be inconsistent, and to follow a thought to its furthest edge without the fear of being judged. Their home is a laboratory for the soul, where the raw version of the self can finally experiment with existence. Finally, there are the recovery seekers. For this group, staying home is an act of emotional decompression. They have spent the day holding their breath, managing impressions at work, smiling on command, and navigating the subtle politics of modern life. When they're alone, they aren't being lazy, they are exhaling. They are allowing their cortisol levels to drop so they can remember who they are when they aren't being useful to someone else. In a culture that worships visibility, choosing to stay invisible can feel like a quiet revolution. We are told that to be alive is to be seen, to be posted, and to be productive. But there is a rare, premium kind of happiness found in the moments no one claps for. It's in the way the light hits your bookshelf at 5 p.m. It's in the rhythmic quiet of a house that asks nothing of you. If you feel more real when you are alone, stop apologizing for it. You aren't missing out on life, you are protecting the source of it. You are doing the vital internal work of returning to your own center. The world will always be there, loud and demanding, but your peace is something you have to build for yourself. Remember, you don't need a witness to be valid, and you don't need an audience to be whole. Sometimes, the most important conversation you'll ever have is the one that happens in the silence of a room that is finally, perfectly yours.